Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live video. And I am here to show you a card that I made with the wrapped bouquet stamp set bundle from the upcoming January to June 2021 mini catalog from Stampin' Up. So it is an awesome little bundle, and hopefully you like it as much as I do. I had a good time playing with it, and I love it's got some fun little things in it that some of our previous floral ones haven't had, like the little newspaper wrap. I thought that was just the coolest thing ever. So hopefully you like this as much as I do. But again, it's just a fun little card that I made and wanted to share with you today. Hey, Lori, thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here. So the bundle that we're using is the Wrapped Bouquet bundle, and it's got some good sentiments. There's a Mother's Day one in here, and just a general love you bunches, and then thanks friend, and a for you. And then it's got some floral images, and then this is the newspaper print image that's actually stamped on the cardstock here that I used in the background. So hey Karen, break time, glad you're here too. And Michelle, thanks for joining as well. What's really awesome is this stamp set also has dies that coordinate with it, and you know how I am. Anything that's bundled, of course, I have to get it. I can't not get the dies. So the dies are really good. This one cuts out this image, and then this larger die here cuts out the flower image here. And then there are just some kind of general greenery ones. There's a little tag that works perfectly with the For You stamp, and we're going to play with that one today. And then there's some little flower die cuts, and this is the one that is designed to cut out the little wrap for the newspaper. It's really easy to do, but I'll show you quickly how it works when we're doing some stamping. So, hey, Catherine, thanks for joining today, and Vicki is here as well, and Elise. So, it sets on your wish list. It should be, it should be on everybody's wish list, at least in my little opinion. But you know how I am. Everything should be on everybody's wish list. So, okay, so that is our stamp set that we're using today. A couple of other things that I used on this card is, of course, I've got the stitched rectangle dies, which I used to die cut. Hopefully you can see the background paper here. I use that to die cut the paper. And also use the subtle embossing folder on the background, which again, I don't know how well it shows up in the video. If it doesn't show up, you can see it in pictures tomorrow on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. So, all right, so let me set aside a few things and try to clear off a little space here. And before I forget, a couple things. I wanted to remind you, if you are not currently a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, Stampin' Up! Has a really awesome promotion starting on January 5th. If you join as a demonstrator, they are going to send you 5 full packs of the Color Family Designer Series papers from the upcoming annual catalog. So this is the 2021 to 2022 annual catalog, Designer Series paper packs. You'll get neutrals, regals, subtles, brights, and then the 2020 to 2022 in colors. And these are new designs. It's 6x6 paper. So there's kind of the plaid look on one side, and then squares, I guess is what you call it on this side. And then on the opposite side is just some pretty images. So good background papers, good, great papers actually. I mean, there are 40 sheets in each pack, and you get 5 packs, so that's 200 sheets of paper that you're going to get for free. Each of these packs is $11.50. So if you take that times 5, that's how much free paper you're going to get if you join as a demonstrator during celebration. So let me know if you have questions about any of that. If you're interested in joining, I would love to have you hop on and join our team. And again, it's a lot of fun. You get the demonstrator discount, and you get a stamp. So, so all good. So let me know if you have questions about that. Hey, Carol, thanks for joining. And I see Jeannie's here and Jerry. I appreciate that. And Linda, hello from Idaho. So beautiful afternoon or good afternoon. Oh, beautiful stamp set bundle. Yep, it is. It's a really good one. Really good one. I love it. So, all right. A couple of other things before we get going on the card. I do have my Designer Series paper shares from the upcoming January to June 2021 mini catalog. This is just a sampling, 6x6 Designer Series papers. You get 1 sheet basically from each of the designs in all the packs, so you kind of get a good working sample to figure out what you really love and want to buy in full packs. But if you're interested in joining my share, the details are posted out on my blog, which again is stampwithamyk.com, and you can see everything out there, and drop me an email or fill out my little form that I've got out of my blog to let me know you're interested in the shares. One more thing, well, two more things. Stampin' Up's Whisper White is going away. As we know, the facility closed that used to manufacture the paper for them, so they have found a suitable replacement, and it will be called Basic White moving forward. We don't have the Basic White products yet. They are coming. And the Whisper White products, the paper products, are only available while supplies last. So a lot of it has sold out. The regular Whisper White 8.5 by 11 cardstock is left. The 3 by 3 little envelopes, and then the assorted Memories and More card pack cards are left. Cards and envelopes are left. But other than that, all the other Whisper White products are sold out. So if you're wanting any of those, make sure you get on and get them quickly, because they're only available while supplies last until our new Basic White comes in. All right, last thing, the year-end closeout sale is going on, and it is tons of stuff that is retiring from the current mini catalog, which is the August to December 2020 mini catalog, which has got all the holiday stuff in it. So if there's anything you're interested in on the list, all of these items are retiring. There's a very small list that's carrying over to the next catalog, so make sure that you get out there, get your retiring items purchased, and a whole bunch of them are on sale too, which is also an added bonus. So let me know if you have questions about that, and let's get going on the card. All right. So to start with, I did a few things ahead of time, so you didn't have to sit and watch me, do nothing while I'm cranking things through the die cutting machine. Hey, Penny, thanks for joining today. So I've embossed a panel of soft seafoam cardstock. This is 4.25 by 5.5. The details will be on my blog tomorrow. They're right. Most of the time I say the wrong numbers. So I've embossed this with a subtle embossing folder. Hey Trudy, thanks for joining. And I'm just going to adhere it to the front of a soft seafoam card base with some liquid glue. And the seafoam card base is cut to 4.25 by 11 and scored at 5.5. This same card front will also work with a standard kind of book fold card, which is the 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25 card base. So either one of these will work, whatever your preferred card base is. Mine is the one that is the tent fold. I like those better, but everybody has their own thing that they like. So, all right, so we've adhered that together. I went ahead of time again and cut from the Paper Blooms Designer Series paper. This is one of the celebration papers, so you can get this for free with an order of $50 or greater starting on January 5th for celebration. It's an awesome 12 by 12 pack of paper, but it's got Rococo Rose in it, and then the other side is kind of all floral images, but we're going to use the Rococo Rose side today. And I have cut it with the third largest of these stitched rectangle dies. And so again, I went ahead and did that ahead of time so you didn't have to sit and watch me do die cutting, which I know is kind of boring. All right, so we have got that, and we're using Stampin' Seal to adhere it to the card front. And I'm going to put this on my grid paper in hopes that it will help me to line things up straight and get it somewhat centered, which I think that's going to do it. All right, so we've got that adhered together. Next up, I did a little pre-stamping and die cutting. So again, this is the image from the wrapped Bouquet stamp set. So it's this image, and I've stamped it in Old Olive ink. And we're going to do a little bit of coloring. It's on Whisper White cardstock. I forgot to say that. I'm going to do a little bit of coloring with some Stampin' blends. And I'm going to start with the Rococo Rose and the light. And again, these images are pretty small, so they don't require a lot of really kind of complex coloring. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the light Stampin' blends color all over them. And then we'll come back in with the dark and do a little bit of shading with that. Yes, the Celebration Designer Series paper is beautiful, Catherine, so I agree. The Oso Ombre is really good. The Berry Delightful, I think is the name of the other one. Oh man, they're really, really good packs of Designer Series paper this year in Celebration. I'm sorry, I can see the camera's wiggling a little as I'm wiggling my hand on the table. I'm trying to not do it, but apparently I get a little heavy-handed when I color. And I can see the phone's wiggling a little, so I'm trying not to, but hopefully I'm not making you too seasick. All right, so we've got the light Rococo Rose put down on all the flowers, and then I'm going to come back in with the dark, and we're just going to add in a little bit in kind of the centers and anywhere that I think would be a little bit darker. I'm not an excellent color person, colorist, I'm not sure what the right term is. I generally just color it until I think it looks pretty, and then I stop coloring. So I don't have any like special tips and secrets with it. I just color until I like it, and then I stop coloring. So I'm going to blend together here a little bit with the light. Going to come back in and just do a little bit of shading here, a little bit of blending, and filling in some of the gaps where I've maybe missed, because sometimes when I'm coloring over with the light, I don't get every single area colored on it, so there's some little white spaces. So just going to come in and color in those with my light, Rococo Rose, and blend in as I go. Hopefully y'all are getting ready for the big holiday bash. I don't know if you guys are doing anything or if everyone is staying at home. We're staying at home, which is all right. So decided not to go anywhere. It's kind of a mess out there with the holidays, and we're going to do Zoom calls with the family, which is always nice. So still get to see them, but not really get to see them in person. That's, the only sort of sad thing is that we can't be in person, but that Zoom is the next closest thing. So that's pretty awesome. The color that I'm using right now is Seaside Spray. And again, I pulled all the colors that I'm using directly from that pack of Designer Series paper. And again, it's the Paper Blooms Designer Series paper. It's right up in the front of the celebration brochure. So hopefully you've seen it and have seen the pretty paper in there. And if not, this one is kind of hard. It's an easy one to miss because it's sort of up towards the front of the brochure, and if you don't look carefully, you may not notice that it's actually there, and it's one of the celebration options. So definitely go take a peek at it. It's a really good pack. Hey Diane, I'm glad you made it, and it's Rococo Rose that I'm using on that one. So just you and your honey at home. That's kind of, like I said, it's just us and the kids that are going to be here this year too. So it'll be a little different, but that's okay. We're, I tend to kind of be a homebody anyway. I like working from home and all that sort of thing. So, but I was a little disappointed because my husband actually had some time off around the holidays, which is rare for him. And so we were actually originally planning to go and do a little traveling and to see family, but ended up staying home instead. So, but that's okay. We got plenty of things to do around the house, so no worries there. Lots of projects to work on. So, all right, I am using Petal Pink right now to color the light and dark on Petal Pink. And again, this one I'm really just sort of putting the ink wherever. I don't, the flowers are so little on that one that it's hard to do any real blending on those flowers. And I realized that I missed this little guy here when I was coloring earlier. All right, and so that's all for the coloring. Like I said, it's pretty simple. I don't tend to do a lot of real complex coloring, but this one worked out all right. So next up, I'm going to do a little stamping with the little newspaper print from the Wrapped Bouquet stamp set. We've got basic gray ink here. And I actually used Very Vanilla for the cardstock on it, which normally I don't mix the two colors together, but I thought the Very Vanilla made it look a little bit more like newspaper, which was kind of what I wanted, the look that I was going for with it. So got Very Vanilla and just going to do a little stamp here with basic gray. And then I'm going to take this really cool die from the Wrapped Flowers dies, I think is the name of it. And I'm going to just put it over the top of this and just die cut it. And it's not going to die cut it perfectly because it's designed to look like newspaper. And by the time you get all done with it, you won't be able to tell. So I'm going to go run this through the die cutting machine quickly. All right. Carol says she's getting together with one son and one daughter. Yep. So, and two of the grandchildren. So yeah, I think most people are kind of like Thanksgiving, just sort of keeping it small and, close to home for most things. So, all right, so we've got this. And again, it doesn't need to be perfectly die cut because we're going to flip it over and we're going to stamp it on the back side with that same image. And again, in basic gray ink. And it doesn't need to be perfect again. I'm just trying to kind of get it generally in the center of the die cut that I've just done. And let me set this aside and close up my ink pad here. And now comes the fun part, is you get to fold this. And it's actually really easy to fold. You just kind of have to take a minute to look at it and figure out what you're supposed to do. So when the way I currently have it, I guess it's like this, isn't it? But basically I've got my two, these score lines over on this side, and then I've got the two longer score lines here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold backwards the two score lines like that. So I'm going to make a little point over here, and I'm going to fold this one over, just like you'd fold a card, and then I'm going to take the final one and fold it like this. So that's how this is designed to fold, which is a little weird. It took me a minute when I looked at it initially. I'm like, what goes which way? So again, when you have it out flat like this, put your little notched corner down here on the lower right. You're going to fold these two back, and then fold this one over, and fold this one over, and that's what makes your little newspaper wrap. So at least that's how I'm doing it with the newspaper wrap. So you weren't gonna order this stamp set. What? Come on, you need this. This is a good one. This is one, when I originally looked at it, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty, and then I saw the dies, and I'm like, oh yeah, sold. So no question at all, sold. So that's all it takes for me is, it's simple. All right, I'm using a couple little glue dots here to hold some of the pieces together. So I've tucked one down here to keep this flap folded down, and then I'm going to take another one and stick it over the top of the flap, and then adhere this together with the glue dot. That sort of makes the little cone on it and keeps things in place for you. And then we're going to take a glue dot and put it on the back of, down at the bottom here where the little stems are. And then I'm going to tuck it right inside, if I can hold on to it, I'm going to tuck it right inside the die cut here. And then we've got our little flowers that are all wrapped up in the paper wrap, which is, like I said, I think it's just so cool. I love this. I love it. So I did a little bit of die cutting ahead of time from Old Olive cardstock for this set, and then from soft seafoam cardstock for these. And again, I'm just going to kind of tuck them around behind my die cuts that I've already got in place here. And I'm using glue dots, and I'm just going to stick them down towards the bottom because the bottom part won't show anyway. So I'm just going to put them down towards the bottom, and then I can kind of stick them wherever I want on the back of my die cuts. So well, I'm glad that you love it too. So it is really cute. Like I said, it's just one of those that, initially when I looked, I kind of flipped past it in the catalog, and then I came back to it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good one. So yep. And I love that the newspaper print, sticking to my finger, not where I want it to be. The newspaper print is really easy to stamp on it as well, and it does not need to be perfect. As you can see, both of mine were stamped crooked, and you can't even tell by the time you get done with it. All right, so I'm going to tuck back behind a couple of the little die cut leaves here. I think I'll take this one, maybe tuck it in here. It looks like I'm putting it together in a little bit differently than I did the first one, but that's okay. So, and then tuck the final one over here. All right. And so that's the basic bouquet. And I guess I should have pointed out the two dies that I used for die cutting the little leaves back here was this one, which is actually a double die, and both of them are actually double dies. So this one cuts the wider leaves, and then this one cuts the little narrow leaves on the background. So those are the two die cuts that I used for the background pieces. Next up, I'm going to take one more glue dot, if I can figure out where I put them. And I'm going to put that on the back of my little bouquet here, which I know looks kind of icky from the back, but that's okay because nobody will see it anyway. And then I'm going to take some linen thread, and I'm going to stick it right to that glue dot. And then flip it over, and I'm going to trim off the linen thread, and then we're going to do a little die cutting for Stampin' and die cutting for the sentiment on here. So let me get the piece of Whisper White cardstock out. I've got Night of Navy ink, and I'm going to stamp the little For You sentiment in Night of Navy on my Whisper White cardstock. All right, looks like that one came out okay. Close that up before I put my fingers in it. And then there's a little die here, a little tag die that fits perfectly around the For You. And I'm going to go ahead and run this through the die cutting machine off to the side here. It definitely, yes, it would be a great set for lots of Mother's Day cards. So it's a really good one. Like I said, even just a general birthday or anything, I love this set. All right, so we've got the die cutting done here. I'm going to set these up and out of the way, and then I'm going to bring my original die cut back in here again. And we're going to do a little knot first down here, so this sort of stays where I want it to be and sort of is centered on this. And of course, tying always works better when I'm not on camera, but I can usually wrestle through it. So I've got the knot to kind of hold things in place, and then I'm going to thread the little die cut sentiment right through it. And then I'm going to make another little knot on the top of that and then tie a bow, and hopefully I will get it to look reasonably centered and reasonably not messy on the bow, but no guarantees there, because the bows sometimes turn out great and sometimes not as great, and that's okay. Bows are bows. So, all right, I think that one's not so bad. I'm going to trim off the ends here a little bit and grab a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals, and we're just going to adhere this to the card front. Hey Lois, glad that you're here. So it's a fun stamp set, Sherry. I think you definitely need it. So, and I'm glad you like the linen thread on there, Catherine. I thought it added a nice little touch. I thought about putting a ribbon on it, but I felt like that was just kind of too bulky for what I wanted. So I wanted to stick with it and have it be a little thinner, a little less, I don't know, a little less bulky. So, all right, I'm going to peel off the backing on my dimensionals, and I tried to kind of put the dimensionals around sort of where some of the glue dots were, so that the glue dots wouldn't necessarily stick to the card base and kind of sink things down in there. So hopefully putting the little Stampin' Dimensional on it will keep it popped up the way I want it to look. All right, last thing that I need to add here on the card front is one of the pastel pearls, and these are from the new mini catalog from the January to June 2021. These will be available on January 5th. I almost said September 5th. Goodness. So, and then I'm just going to add one of these right over here next to the bouquet. And I started, when I originally was doing it, I started to put several of them on, and then I thought it actually sort of took away from the flowers, so I just left it as a single one on there and thought that worked. So, all right, so I've got the card front done. On the inside, I kept it very simple and just did a little stamping. Again, this is the big image, one of the big floral images from the wrapped bouquet stamp set. I've got soft seafoam ink. Just going to ink this up in soft seafoam. And well, thank you. I'm glad you guys are liking the card. Like I said, it was a fun one to put together, and you know, just I love the dies. So it makes the card so easy and so much fun to put together when you got a good set of dies that go with the stamped images. All right, so we've just got that kind of stamped it off to the side here on Whisper White cardstock. This is cut to 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to adhere this to the inside of the card base, and we will be all done for today. All right, and just a reminder, I am not going to be live on Friday, which is Christmas Day, so I will not be live on Friday, but I will plan to be back here live next week, Tuesday, on Facebook, and then the following, I'll probably go live on New Year's Day. I don't know, I haven't decided yet for the New Year's holiday, but I'll probably be around, so I probably will go live. So, all right, got that adhered together with a little bit of Stampin' Seal. And going to do a quick crease. Usually when I've got the front completely embossed like I do with this one, I flip it on the back to use the bone folder with it so that it doesn't smash down the embossing. And that's it. So the cards are all done. So I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Christmas holiday for everybody celebrating. Hope that you have a fantastic week. And we will see you all, plan to see you all next week, Tuesday. Thanks again for joining, and we'll chat soon.